Hey, what's going on, guys? Flick here, and welcome back to another episode of Season 3 of the Liverpool Career Mode. And in today's episode, I decided not to start off with a press conference because we are getting into the start of September, so I wanted to get a squad report for you guys, and those take up a little bit of the episode. But as you guys can see, we are getting into an international break, and that made me think of a poll question for you guys. And I've mentioned this a couple of times in some of the previous episodes, but I would like to get a poll to really determine your guys' interest. Would you like to see a World Cup run with the United States after we finish up Season 3 of the Liverpool Career Mode? I think it'll be a fun little mini series that we can do once the Liverpool Career Mode is over, but go ahead and get involved in the poll. Click the eye on your screen and go ahead and cast your vote. In terms of the matches that we'll be playing in today's episode, we'll be starting things off with the home match against QPR. I wanted to play this one because they were a bit of a pesky opponent for us last season in Season 2. I think it would have been in the FA Cup, or maybe it was the Capital One Cup, something like that. In a cup game, they were very tough opposition. But then we're going to get into our first Champions Cup group stage match against Saint Etienne, who are trying to pick up some of our players during the transfer window, and then we'll end off the episode with an away match against West Ham United. Now, getting into a squad report, I'm a bit disappointed to see that Pepe Reina is yet to grow in his goalkeeping statistics, and I thought he would have by now. 35 and those mid-30s is the prime time to be growing as a goalkeeper. But moving on, a couple of players are unhappy in their morale, and most of those players we are looking to offload, so I'm not too concerned about it. If they demand a transfer request, that might even work even better, because that increases the likelihood that the player will be sold, even if it be for a lesser amount. I just want the players out of the team, to be completely frank with you guys. But I might be switching up the training for some of our younger players. Christian Pulisic, I want to give him some more training time so we can help improve this U.S. men's national team. But Mane, a little bit unhappy. I'm going to make sure I give him more starts, but he's a bench player for us, and I don't know why he is so distraught about being a bench player. But Lionel Messi up +1, growing, and we'll see how high we can get him up to a 95 now. We'll see if we can get him to 96 or even 97 by the end of the season. But Divock Origi and Daniel Sturridge have both switched to content, which is good to see, and Sturridge is actually growing, which is awesome, despite not getting much play time. But that's going to wrap things up for the squad report. We have another monthly scouting update from the United States. I believe this is our second month in the US, and starting things off, the 76 potential player, a 93, and a winger as well. That's what we like to add to the club. And now we have a 75 to 94. The US is really coming up big with some good players, a 64 to 88, and finally another 67 to 93. Here's the team that we'll be bringing out against QPR, and one change I have made to the substitutes. I brought in Feghouli back onto the substitutes. I had him in the reserves because I had full intentions on selling him during the transfer window, but unfortunately no bids were put in, so now we're going to hang on to Feghouli up until January. I don't see any reason to keep him in the reserves. He's a quality player, and I think if we give him more play time, then that increases the likelihood that clubs will want him in January. With that said, I think Marković will get plenty of play time if Feghouli does get injured or in cup games. QPR not having the best of seasons, only 3 points through their first 4 fixtures, and we're still clinging to the top of the table. Chelsea's still slightly ahead of us, but I think once we do face Chelsea in the league, we can pick up a win. Here is the QPR starting 11, and it looks like they've actually been busy in the transfer window. Of course, they signed Jordan Roster, who's also getting some play time. Good to see that. But they've also signed the Brazilian goalkeeper Alisson, who's a decent shot stopper, so he might have some difficulty scoring goals. And here's Messi starting things off right away. He's going to burb a spin inside, getting by one QPR defender. Now he's going to do some LTRT, waiting for someone to get open in the center. He's going to find Marković, scoop turn, now the shot, and that was a clean tackle. And it was a huge tackle by the QPR defense. They nearly went down early. Here's Junior Hoylett, the Canadian player, getting inside the box, and this is a dangerous opportunity for QPR. Karius with the stop, and I think Jordan Roster even took that shot. Here's Coutinho on the ball. We need to do something here really quickly, and Messi now dribbling to the outside, gets taken out, but Coutinho collects the ball, and again, Yoon-Suk Young is just an incredible fullback, and he is stopping every single chance that we're creating. But that is not a good pass, and Marković has to finesse this one. Calker now with the stop, and this QPR defense is ridiculous. Here are the match facts at halftime, and QPR stats-wise are beating us in this game, and their defense has been solid. Just going to show that this QPR team is nothing to mess around with. I still think we can get a goal. We had some chances early on, and hopefully that can push over into the second half. Here's an open opportunity for Leroy Fer to do something. He's the one that scored 2 goals against us in that FA Cup fixture last season. Karius again with the save. He needs to get up. Hoylett is offsides, and QPR looking to score in this second half. Here's Nathaniel Klein winning the ball back, and Suarez slipping it through to Coutinho. He has Marković here on the left, and it just has to be a finesse shot. Alisson coming up big, but that had to have been a penalty. He didn't get ball there. However, we still hang on to the ball. Alaba trying to do something, going with the shot. That one is not on target. 30 minutes left in this game, and we're going to have to make some changes. Fuguli will be brought on for Lionel Messi. And this is actually going to be some of the first action that Fuguli's gotten all season, but hopefully he can keep that form from last season, which he played fairly well. Milner will be brought on for Emre Can, and for our final substitution, we're going to bring on Mane over to that left wing spot. And that reminds me, I haven't put Lozano onto the bench. I think I'll do so for the next match. This is a chance for QPR. We're going to need to deal with this really quickly. Junior Hoylett on the ball is going to whip it in. And the shot, again saved by Karius. He has the option at the left wing spot. He doesn't have the giant throw, but we're going to keep hold of possession. Mane finding Suarez, who will slip it through to Coutinho. We have the overlap run by Fuguli. This is where he excels on that right wing spot. His dribbling is so darn good. He has the option in the middle. We'll play to Suarez. The finesse shot took a deflection, but I think it was going in regardless. And finally, we get that goal. It's 1-0, 23 minutes left in this game. I'd like to tack on another now that we have the momentum. QPR looking to answer right back. Our defense is really nowhere to be found. That is a big tackle by Luis Suarez, tracking back and probably saving a goal. Milner spotting out Suarez, and now he's moving forward. The work rate from Suarez is just on point, guys. He's going to Berba spin inside, get by another player. And Luis Suarez, he's just going to go end to end right here, but he eventually is tackled by Cocker. Suarez spotting out the run by Fuguli, and he has Coutinho in the middle. This has to be a chance for us to get the second goal. A big touch forward, and Coutinho on his left foot is going to finesse it, and that makes it 2-0. An easy goal right there. QPR were pushing up, trying to get the equalizer, and we just get the easy counterattack. That's how Legendary works, and that's how you have to play it. QPR might be able to get a goal back right here. Hoylett is going to get through, but Karius, again, stepping up big, and he's making save after save this season. I think he's only conceded 1 or 2 goals. And it could be a contender for most clean sheets in the Premier League right now. A look at the full-time stats shows that we turned things around a little bit here in the second half. And eventually, after we got that first goal, QPR just pushed up too far. And it makes things way too easy on the counterattack when you have 3-4 players forward against 1 defender. But a good win there, and we finally managed to beat QPR. A monthly scouting update coming through from England. We have a 88 potential player, 86, 74, 63, and an 81. Nothing from the first month in England. Our first match of the Champions League group stage will be against Saint-Etienne, and here's a look at our group. We have Borussia Dortmund, Saint-Etienne, and FC Basel, who I believe were in our group last year, but it's a pretty strong group. Borussia Dortmund will likely be a tough contender, and Saint-Etienne could creep up, and so could Basel, to be honest. But here's the team I've got for this one. It will be our debut match for Hirving Lozano, and I'm excited what he can do. I actually haven't showed you guys his stats. He has a lot of pace, some decent technical and skill attributes, 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves, and I'm just very excited for him to excel as a Liverpool player. The Saint-Etienne lineup is a decent one. Ruffier is their goalkeeper, and he's a pretty highly rated one. And I think I saw Junozovic, who used to be in the Bundesliga, and also a pretty quality player. Chance here for Saint-Etienne early on from the right wing position. They're going to look to cross this one in, I'm sure of it. And now still dribbling. He might just do it himself, and he does. That shot well wide. We're having some trouble getting the ball out of our own half, and we're going to have to get on the counterattack here eventually. Saint-Etienne is playing well, passing the ball around. Their finishing has been a bit subpar, though. But here, Matip with a good tackle, and hopefully we can string together some passes. But that's what I'm talking about. We just cannot get the ball out of our own half, and now we've conceded. Not a good start to this game, and Saint-Etienne has been the dominant team. Chance here for Saint-Etienne to add a second goal to their tally. And they're just being very patient with their build-up play. Reina does collect it, and maybe he can find a long throw-in option. Not a bad ball to Sturridge. He's going to try to slip this one through, and this could work out for us. Marković has some space. He's going to need to shoot this from long range, and he will do so. What a goal by Marković. I didn't know he had it in him, to be completely honest, but what a goal by our number 50, and just like that, we're going to go into the halftime break, equal on goals with Saint-Etienne. Stats-wise, the first half belonged to Saint-Etienne, but Marković begs to differ, and he scored that long-range effort to tie things up 1-1, and just like that, it's an equal game once again, and we have just as much of an opportunity to win this one as Saint-Etienne. The game can shift so quickly, and hopefully it shifts in our favor. Some good play here. Adam Lallana finding Daniel Sturridge. He might be able to play this one through, and it's Lallana. You need to put this one away, and it was a decent shot. I'm not going to discredit Lallana on that one. It was just a good save by Ruffier. With 20 minutes left, we're going to look to get this win by bringing on Sofiane Feghouli, who was a pretty impactful substitute for us in the Premier League match that we just played. So we'll bring him on. We're going to bring on Gerrard's regen and bring him on for Emre Can. And finally, we're going to give Christian Pulisic a shot at that left wing position. Lozano, I haven't quite adjusted to his play style. Still feels a little bit clunky. We'll see if Pulisic works better. I don't know what Ruffier is doing, but this might be a chance for Saint-Etienne to make a mistake. The keeper's brought out, and he's still on the ball right here. We're going to take it away. Christian Pulisic looking for the pass, but we messed up that opportunity. That could have been the chance for us to get the game winner, but I probably should have just shot it, to be honest. So missed opportunities explain why we were only able to get the draw on this point. That's not a bad result by any means, as long as we can get results against Dortmund and Basel, because Saint-Etienne could compete with us to get that first or second place spot. A Premier League match against West Ham will see out the remainder of this episode. Again, we've got a fully rested team, and I'm confident in this team's ability. The front three is starting to work together, and the Royce, Suarez, and Messi trio is starting to become one of the world's best. We're now equal on points with Chelsea, so a win here might allow us to overtake them, especially if we can get a few goals here against West Ham United. But it looks like they're starting Andy Carroll in this game. We'll check out their starting 11. Here is that West Ham lineup. It looks like they have sold off Adrian, so Randolph will be starting in the net for them. Carroll, Paya, Antonio, Lanzini up front, and they've also signed Pogba, but that is not Paul Pogba. Of course, it's the center back. Some good passing early on, and this is how I like to see the gameplay work for us. Now Marco Reus trying to find another pass. Coutinho getting by a couple players. The finesse shot going just wide of the target. Good start in the game. Some good passing going on, and a decent shot there by Coutinho. Losing hold of possession. Now we've got Henderson getting by one of the West Ham players. Now spotting out Lionel Messi here on the right. He's going to try to dribble this one in. Now a power shot, and it was a powerful shot indeed. Randolph with the clearance. Corner kick for us, and Coutinho will look to get this inside the box. We get it a bit too close to Randolph, but we're going to follow it up with Luis Suarez. Getting by a couple players, a heel-to-heel flick gets dragged down, and that is a penalty kick. Suarez is our best penalty kick taker, so we will let him take it. 3 bars of power off to the right, and it's another goal for us. Suarez starting to heat up a bit more and tacking another goal onto his goal tally. Here are the halftime statistics, and minus that one moment of error that West Ham had, it was a pretty even half. We didn't get too many chances, and Randolph has been a decent keeper for West Ham. Not much he can do on the penalty kick. I'd like to add on a second or even third goal to make sure we can secure this win. And don't forget, the more goals we score, the bigger the goal differential is going to be. And if we want to be first place, we need to win by a few goals. Corner kick for us, and Henderson coming short for the corner. He's going to try to work this one around. He has the pass inside, nearly gets taken out. And Messi, the same goes for him, but Andy Carroll clearing it away. Krychowiak finding Marco Reus here, and looking to spot out the run by Coutinho. It's a great ball, and Coutinho just couldn't get the shot off in time. Darren Randolph, another big save. In order to add some sparks to the team, we're going to make some substitutes now. Suarez coming off and Origi coming on. We're also going to be bringing on Adam Lallana in for Coutinho, and I'm giving another opportunity to Lozano. I wasn't happy with how he played in the first game for us, and I'm going to give him another shot here. Henderson finding the ball to Krychowiak, and now he's going to try to play another pass. Obiang with the steal, and now West Ham looking to get on the counter. They've got mass amount of people forward, and Mark Noble, the captain, slips it through to Dimitri Payet. The fancy pass outside to Antonio, who may have forced the penalty, but Karius up to the task and clears that again. I don't know where we would be without Karius, because he has had a lot of games where he's made some big saves. Lallana slipping this ball through, and Lozano finally using that pace of his, and now we might have a chance to get the goal. If he can play to the far post, he will to Messi, and Messi nearly scores himself a header, showing that he's not maybe the best at heading the ball going wide of the target. In the last 3 minutes or so, we're just going to play ultra defensive, try to hang on for this result. I know we've had a couple of games with relatively low score lines, but we've got to do what we've got to do and pick up the points. As we check out the full-time statistics, I am incredibly thankful that we did manage to get that penalty kick and converted on it to allow ourselves to get the win. West Ham's defense worked really well together, and they were incredibly difficult to break down, but we got the win, and that's all that does matter. And it could even put us in first place over Chelsea. We'll see that in the next episode if we manage to get first place. But guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. If you have enjoyed today's episode of the Liverpool Career Mode, make sure you drop a like down below. Make sure you follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are in the description. And until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.